Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Train Man, and here we are in little engine number 450, the K28 or 27. Don't shoot me, Wybold. I don't remember which one it is. I'm gonna go with 27. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe there's no such thing as a K28. Hell if I know. Okay, so here we are. We are on Yoshi's map, the Herrenos de Fagene, I think. I have no idea. It's Spanish, it's 1 meter gauge, and actually it's pretty good. The grades, which are one of the more defining features in terms of running this map, the grades are difficult but not impossible. We're going to see a little bit of that later, although I think I cut a lot of the actual traveling out. Because it took me about an hour, about 10 miles an hour, to get from here to our destination, which is an ore mine, which has a name, but I don't remember it. So, we are running there to pick up some Gilpin gold ore and bring it back, and that is our mission today, plain and simple. We've got quite a lot of terrain to cover, so we start out here at... You know what? That was kind of neglected. I didn't check which town was which. Anyways, I'm going to be just pointing stuff out here. We've got ENP number 4 in there, just because I thought it looked good. That's the steel mill, or the mill that we have to drop off the gold ore to. It's not a steel mill, but smeltery, I should say. And this is one of the larger towns. I didn't need to flip one of those switches, but they're kind of awkwardly positioned. Okay, so those roads are a little bit wobbly. That's something I have to say. Yoshi, who the hell drives like that? Why would you have dirt trails like that? I mean, I get that they're supposed to be uneven, but come on. Put them in at least relatively straight lines. They're probably not going to be any worse than train tracks. Or not that much worse, at least. So this is a big outside frame engine. It's got those counterweights. It's got like clusters of 3 for the pistons, so I'm not sure exactly how that works. Oh, little hiccup there. So here we go, passing the station on the 3rd track here. Of course, not going to stop to pick up any passengers. But there's a passenger train, of course, waiting for us to leave there. Speaking of waiting for us to leave, I need to point out the other criticism of this map that I have, or one of the other ones. That's what this map is, or that's what this episode is largely going to be. It's going to be constructive criticism on this map, as well as witty commentary that you're all used to. So, the steel mill probably ought to have some multi-industries in it. I didn't actually check if you had them, but if it doesn't, it should. And there are a couple of spots there where the track should go through, or the track should go straight, and it doesn't. I mean, that's not really a big problem, but that's just me being nitpicky. So here we are leaving. Leaving the station in the distance, we got this little town off to our left, which, well, I'm sure he's going to expand on that. He's got a lot of road space. That's our fuel. I was always curious to see if we were going to run out at some point, but we never even got close. I could have stopped. There's a refueling point on the way. Alright, so here we are much later. We are, of course, slowing down. I should say we have slowed down, because, you know, we were climbing a considerable grade. These cars in total, I think, are about 82 tons. So, like, that's not that much, but it's something. So this is me checking signals. And checking to see that things like this. Okay, the other thing, put buffers at the ends of your track. It's not a nitpicky thing, actually. It interferes with signaling and AI. Also, track marks are good, too, but I haven't done much with track marks on my map, so I'm not going to be that much of a hypocrite. I just didn't want to fiddle with the map too much for just for playing around purposes. Also, this area is totally wonky, and I'm really not sure what's up with it. The other thing, of course, I already mentioned this to you, Skiryoshi, is about building to the edge of the terrain. Now, a lot of this is done, and it's really well done, as a matter of fact, but, you know, building up to the edge of the terrain, and especially so that you can never see the edge of the map, is good to do. So here we are running through these crossovers and running towards, running across the Y here. Now one of the Ys actually has named switch stands. That's good. It's cool. I've never been really big on named switch stands just because I don't tend to spend a lot of time doing that, but maybe it's a good thing. Well, it is a good thing. Also, this crossover could be a little bit less wonky, but that's the least of your concerns. So, because it's not a bad switch. So trying to milk a little bit of speed out of this engine here. Of course, very tiny drivers. Unfortunately, there isn't any function in the cab, so that's kind of disappointing, but that's the way it is. I had to cut it a bit at the beginning where I showed off some stuff. Okay, going past that signal because I know there's really not going to be any way to make it show green. Anyways, here we are coming up to the next Y. There's a track off there to our left. There is another train. A little short clip. We're going to pass under this bridge here and keep going. That's a log train. I'm not really sure where it's going or where it came from, but I'm not... Look out for that tree. That's another thing. You need to be careful of your spline placement. There's more than a couple places where trees kind of intersect the railway in more drastic ways than that. So the other thing with splines is you've got grass and you've got it surrounding the track, which is a good thing, but you should have it lead up into the woods to the point where you can't see where there isn't any grass. It's me checking fuel again to see if I had to stop there. Alright, so here we are at this wonky bit. This is apparently a reverse loop, sort of. I mean, it is. He was saying how weird it was to the group earlier. But I figured I'd highlight this portion as we're getting, just beginning to come down. Down from here, it's pretty much a 4% down and out. We've been climbing to this point, just about. And once we come around this corner, it'll be descending. Frankly, I didn't think we would have had to climb all this way, and this isn't a criticism of much, it's just pointing out that this may not have been what they would have done in terms of building an actual railroad. They probably would have brought it lower on the way here. Maybe turned around at this end, but maybe turned around sooner. At any rate, it would have lessened the required grades on the way up here by quite a bit. Got this bridge, though. That's something. But it's been quite a climb. At more than one point I was worried about 450 failing us, but with the empty train it was alright. I started to get worried though once we got down here because the grades were pretty tough. And not to get up, I mean to get back up. They were tough in terms of keeping the train at a decent speed. I mean, the speed limit's kind of high. For narrow gauge, it's really out of this world, but here we are pulling into the siding at the mine. So we're going to come to a stop. I've been getting better about using the independent brake. It seems to come into effect quicker. So, and meddling with the reverser is not something to do in 12. Because it'll lead to warp speed and glitching out and things like that. In 06 it worked perfectly fine, but in 12 I don't know why, it just doesn't want to work. Also, the shovel coal button wasn't working for me on this engine either. I had to go into the menu and shovel, do each scoop manually. So I had to go to class, and then I would come back and finish this. Unfortunately, when I'd come back, if you notice, the pressure in the boiler there is drastically low. I reloaded up the save, and I had no pressure, and it wasn't giving me any steam, and I had real trouble getting this thing out beyond the points. So I eventually, I think I bring it to a stop here, for whatever reason. I probably shouldn't have. And then it's really something to get it going again, because I have no power right now. There's hardly any steam in the steam chest, and frankly, it's just kind of tricky to get it to move at all, and it really didn't want to there, and I don't think there was a solution for this. Jader was telling me a workaround, which was to place a new copy of the engine, but I'd already recorded this bit, so I figured, I'm gonna be working with this anyways. I'll work it out some other way. So I had to go and scavenge another engine. I had to find something to help us get out of this hole. I mean, at the very least, I needed it to double head. But now it looked like we were going to have to salvage this engine as well. I tried to shovel some more coal, but it really just wasn't having any of it. It never generated any more boiler pressure. It sank down to 1 psi, and that was it. So here's the cavalry. White Pass and Yukon number 73 coming around to do our bidding. This is the longest segment in the episode, and it's dealing with this engine beginning to fill up the ore cars, I should say. So we're going to come around here and get to the engine and pull it off out of the way. Now, we just need to load up the ore and get out of here and hopefully drag this engine with us. This stricken engine. Maybe somewhere where I can get some maintenance and start feeling better. So the White Pass and Yukon number 73 coming in here to pick up the engine. A little bit rough. Braking is something I never mastered in these games. Train simulators was never good at it. Nope. Nudge it a little more, give us a little more throttle. Wrong lever. 73 is a little bit jumpy. The engine spec, the power curve seems to go up pretty quickly. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a huge peak in that power curve. You don't have it's not a really overpowered engine like Blount is. 3254, I mean. But we're gonna drag 450 out of the way. Of course, the brake is disabled, and I'm just gonna put them on a siding for now, on the siding of the reverse loop. And we'll figure out what to do with them after we've filled up the ore cars. Something I didn't anticipate is that the ore cars wouldn't all fill up. Now, I realized when they stopped filling up that we had more ore cars than the mine produces ore. So, that's that. We ended up with most of a train full of ore on the way out. End up bringing us to a stop with the train brake. Why the train brake? Because it'll apply the brakes for both, and it'll uncouple us, disable the train brake, and back up. Now, 73 was doing this thing where it would start to back up and then it would start rolling forwards. And it basically just wasn't cooperating with the reverser and everything. I don't know why the steam physics just seem to get worse and worse the farther you go in trains. 06 had really great steam locomotive physics, and they did a lot with steam locomotives. in '06 they had the Gilpin tramway route, if I recall correctly, the what was it called? The North Bay County route. With the Gilpin Gold Ore and them, the Garrett and the Shea. We've got this White Pass engine now. Managed to scrounge up what I needed, which was a Ben Neal engine off of his page for the missing dependency that I had for 73. I would have done this to tender decking number 491, but I was short for time, and I couldn't wait for the whole thing to download. Speaking of which, I downloaded a bunch of stuff, and I'm missing a bunch of KUIDs. K28s. Alright, what are you missing? View errors and warnings. Well, yes, okay, cancel, not that. View dependencies. And we've got this KUID 43955:11004:1. Copy. Let's see if I can find this before the episode ends. Anyways, we're coupled to the caboose here, and we're just going to push this thing all the way to the... We're going to push it all the way to the ore pickup. Now, these... Where's that road going? It just runs into an embankment. Anyways, these cars seem to be not exactly the most receptive to picking up the ore, but they did. It just took me a couple of tries. I ended up having to go basically one car at a time. So once I got all of them, I brought it back out to, or almost all of them, I brought it back out to here, and did a little flying switch to get this caboose on the right track, which you'll see in a second. What are these? K27 downloads where? Oh, steam machine. Oh, San Juan Train Works. Alright, which one was I missing again? Ah, so there's the flying switch. There goes the caboose. And he's rolling away, of course, and he's going to run it to the back of 450 over there. Hopefully there isn't any crew in the caboose, or else they're going to be in for a jolt. Real quick, I'm in the caboose. Woo! Thud. Hope he was, hope they were holding on. Okay, so now I just have to couple up to cars, couple up to the caboose, and then hightail it out of here. So this is the home stretch, basically. And then I noticed that somebody's rolling away down there. Subtly at first. But nope. Definitely rolling away. Hey, past me, you didn't go catch that anytime soon? Like, oh crap. So I apply the train brake. Oh, I missed. Apply the train brake. Apply the train brake! Emergency! This ends up being the undoing of the whole operation. Now, I don't know if I had the tractive effort or power to get this damn engine hoisted out of this canyon on the back of 73. But it oh, what am I doing? Yeah, I never knew if I had the power to get it out, but yeah, see with the reverser doing wonky things? I don't know what's up there. But it ends up rolling so far back, and then I just slip back to the point where it starts stopping my train to try and load up with the ore there. And that, again, that ends up being the undoing of the whole operation, because I can't gain enough momentum. It stops me and it throws me in forward, actually, and of course I'm trying to run reverse. So it throws me in forward, and that's a problem, because I'm trying to get out of here in reverse, and I can't build up momentum if it keeps throwing me in forwards. Unfortunately, it also starts just rolling back downhill. I think part of it was the fact that I was flooring it. That might have contributed to the problem, and I also could have used sand, but I didn't think of that. So in the end, I ended up running into a little problem, which was I managed to make it out, or I managed to make it out, but the problem was that I couldn't take 450 with me because it had rolled too far down, and I needed the momentum. And by rolled too far down, I think I'm going to pan over to it in a second, but I mean literally rolled off the end of the track and into the ground. Now there are still tracks there. There's a track leading into the ground for whatever reason. Yoshi, why is there a track leading into the ground? Yeah, the question is, why is the track leading that far into the ground? I expected 450 to derail as it slowly rolled towards the dead end there. But it didn't, and I could have sent another locomotive back to get it, and I probably would have, but the run session ended in a blunder. Not a derailment blunder, although that would have been interesting, but a switching blunder. Either way, we're pretty much home free now, and I managed to haul myself out of this valley. And I'm not, without too much more trouble. I just have to keep on it the entire way. It was just the kind of thing where I didn't record it because it was boring, and I was just kind of tabbing out to read Reddit or something while I climbed the pass and coming back just to put coal or water in the engine. Actually, this thing isn't even run by coal, of course. If you notice the tanner, it's run by oil. But, of course, oil level doesn't matter to trains. It's just coal level. I'm trying to figure out where this... It's 43955-11004:1. Once again with the... It's at San Juan Trains Works. RS Products. Domino Sugar. What? That's not what I want. Locomotives in rolling stock. Alright, and now I forgot which one it is. I'm guessing it's, for Tidewile K27s. Alright, so now here we are on the downslope. This is the last clip in the episode, of course. We are going down at quite a clip because it's like a 3% downgrade, and we're not breaking the speed limit. So, this is... well, this is it. This is all we've done. There's an extra terrain track there. Yoshi, you forgot to delete that one. But what am I downloading? I totally forgot. K28. I need common files for K28. Got some Rio Grande bobblers. K28 common parts, I'm gonna guess. all these download station assets. Oh, see, and there's the blunder. Okay, so I threw us onto the wrong track because that's the track that I got White Pass and Yukon 73 from. So that's just the way we end up going, and I end the episode here because we're not going to be making it back to the place we started anytime soon. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.